During 2019, the S8 is 2 years old now. How does it fare in 2019, or is it even worth picking up if you're saying you're in the need for a second-hand phone? So let's find out. So starting off with its specifications on the S8. Its size is 148.9 by 68.1 by 8 nm. It fits a lot better in your hands compared to some other phones out there. It weighs in at 155 grams with Gorilla Glass 5 protecting both its front and back glass. It's rocking either an Exynos 8859 CPU or a Snapdragon 835 processor, depending on your region. This is paired with a Mali G71 MP20 GPU. For its RAM, it has 4 gigs of RAM. Micro SD card expansion all the way up to 1TB or dual SIM depending if you use the SD card feature. It's powered by a 3000 mAh battery with 15 watts of fast charging. Additional features are a 3.5mm headphone jack, Bluetooth 5.0 1440p OLED screen with no notch, wireless charging, HDR10 display, pixel density of 570 ppi with a screen to body ratio of 83.6%. Not bad for its year that was produced, which was 2 years ago. Using the S8 in 2019 is quite capable in terms of its performance and somewhat in the camera department, but it lags heavily in its battery life. As by the afternoon, I find myself needing to recharge the phone using a power bank, but this isn't really a big issue as nowadays power banks are quite cheap and they come with fast charging. The size of the battery is due to the fact that Samsung had issues with its batteries with the Note 7 where the batteries was exploding in that time, so they decided not to really dig too far and trying to push the capacities higher, so they used the same battery in the S7, which was a 3000 mAh battery. Here are 5 reasons why you should get this phone. So let's get started. Number 1. At this price point is quite cheap, beating out other phones you can find in this price range, as this is a flagship phone that makes us the best of its components for that year. Compared to a phone that was made to be cheap, which would be using very cheap components and you won't be getting the exact same features. Number 2. There's not much more depreciation left on this phone as the price of the phone is already hit rock bottom. Hence, if you do upgrade in the future, you will not lose much money out of it as you can get roughly the same value of what you paid for it, as long as you don't damage the phone. Number 3. Since you're buying a phone that's second-hand, there'll always be some additional accessories that comes with the phone such as cases, wireless chargers, or pre-applied screen protectors. These are quite useful. Okay, number 4. The phone is able to run the latest version of Android 9. However, it has not been confirmed if it's able to run Android 10 as this will only be released in the future updates, so I'm not way too sure about that yet. Okay, number 5. The phone design still looks very modern, even beside the S10 Plus, or compared to some iPhones out there which stuck with the same design for quite a few years, such as the iPhone 7, iPhone 8. However, the biggest thing that makes them look apart, such as the S10 and the S8, which is the bezels on the phone. Yes, the S8 has bigger bezels compared to S10 Plus, but the curvature and the overall design still looks pretty modern, I'll say. Okay, for the camera, you can see the improvement over dynamic range coming from the 2 years of development from the S8 to the S10 Plus. But it's able to capture details in the very bright spots of this picture and then the very dark spots too, and balance it out without overexposing one of them. For the night shots, the S10 blows away the S8 with its dual aperture functions, allowing it to allow more light into its sensor with less noise. Nevertheless, the S8 also has a decent front shooter and rear shooter, so that would outperform most budget phones in this criteria. For performance benchmarks, I'll be benching it against the S10 Plus, which is what you get in 2019. In 3D Mark, which is a test that tests the GPU of the phone, the S10 has almost double the performance of that. For Geekbench, which is a test that stresses the CPU of the phone, the S10 is just a few points ahead of the S8. However, iPhones will outperform the Samsung phones in this style of criteria. Overall, if you're saying in the range for about $100 to $200 to $300 phone there, the S8 will be quite a good choice, or something like the S8 Plus or so, due to its camera, the overall build quality, and the features you're getting, as this was its flagship phone, which means it has all the features that was the greatest and best of that year that was made, which is 2 years ago. It also won't blow your bank as the current value of this phone isn't extremely expensive. It's about $200 there compared to a flagship of today's standard, which is about 1.2, 1.3 there. If you guys found this video useful, do feel free to leave a like, subscribe, share, comment down below. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask it in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.